Okay, today we're taking the dash out, the instrument cluster. I already removed the tachometer, which was just pipe clamped on there. To take the dash out, there's some screws up in here. The dash is all busted up on this thing. So take those out, unhook the wire harness for the steering column there. And there's 4 screws, 2 on this side and 2 on that side, that hold this cover on. We'll see what's under there. Okay, I've removed those covers, and now I believe I can just take out the 4 bolts. Those guys right there. Take out those nuts there, and the nut on this side. I guess there's only one. Okay, take that guy out, and then the steering column should drop down. Okay, trying to take this cover off here. This guy, it's got 3 bolts on it. There, and there. It also has these bolts here that hold it together, sandwiched together. It had this plastic cover on it here, but I touched it and it's a little brittle and it broke. So that'll be going away, I guess, for the time being. Otherwise, just got to take these screws out. Okay, so once you remove this plate off of the firewall back in there, and you loosen those, take off those 3 nuts that hold the column on, the column will drop down and you can pull the dash out. Now then, if the dash instrument cluster won't come out, the reason for that is the speedometer cable. See the speedometer cable right here? It screws into the back of the speedometer. So if you reach in here, you can feel it. If you reach in the vent hole here, you can feel that, and you can twist it off and get that loose, and then the whole dash, the whole instrument cluster will come right out. And then we can continue tearing down the dash. Yay! Okay, we got the dash out of the thing. Got all the instrument cluster out. Everything's coming along nicely. The dash pad was fairly easy to get out. Fairly easy. It has 4 bolts along here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and screws along the front edge of the thing along here. And then it's got these weird little clips here, which go into a hole right here. And inside there is a little metal clip. And if you take a look at this guy, see how it's kind of got a knob on it there? Yeah, you've got to spread that clip open so that it can slide out. So you've got to get to it from the back side and get a screwdriver in there and spread that clip open. But with a little bit of patience and a little bit of elbow grease, it all comes out. Over here is my pile of parts. That's what I've got so far. Everything's looking good. Okay, continuing work. We've got removed the fuse block from where it rests. It actually just has 2 screws that go into either side of it, and then it just pulls right off of that piece up there. You've got a little bracket up in here that the tail light wires are held up by. And then there's also a little bracket in here where the, I assume this is the hazard flasher, goes into. I'm going to be dropping the, pulling the steering column out of here right away. And then I might do the pedals, or I might remove the hood, because I've got to take the whole front clip off. Yay! Good times. Okay, I've decided to take the hood off, and since I'm working out here by myself, I had to get creative. So I've got ratchet straps up to the rafters there, and I've got some yellow nylon rope strung around it because I want to slide it back and put it on top of the hood there. So I've got the ratchet straps up in there. I've got this guy. I've got a little gaff set up here so that I can, if I pull on this, it should increase tension on the yellow rope and bring the windshield, or bring the hood up over the windshield where I can lay it on the roof of the car back there. We'll see how it goes. Well, I got the hood off. Unfortunately, my little rope trick there, it kind of worked, but I still needed somebody else to help me push it back. Luckily, my lovely wife was home and was able to help me lift it up on there. Now we can take the hinges off. Way easier to work in here with the hood gone. Look at this. I remove the hinge and get right in here, master cylinder, steering linkage, everything that I need to get into. It's going to be easily accessible now that guy's gone. Yay. Okay, today we are removing the brake master cylinder. It's got the master cylinder up top and the distribution block on the bottom. The hose coming up the front of it here is to the front brakes, and this guy here is to the right front brake. And then you've got a big line coming out the back of the thing, and that goes to the rear brakes. You've got a electrical sensor here, and then of course your feed tube going from the master cylinder into the distribution block. There are 4 bolts, 3 actually, one's missing a nut there, holding the thing on, and then of course all the various lines. I'm going to pop the cap off and use a turkey baster to get the fluid out of it, and we'll go from there. Okay, we've got the fluid drained out of the master cylinder. We've got the lines going to the front brakes and the rear brakes broken loose. We've got the nuts broken loose a little bit there. Okay, see there's a pin right in there, and it's supposed to slide. I would assume that it's supposed to slide in this side and then be clipped on the other side, but this is clipped on this side and should slide out the other side. Unfortunately, there's no hole on this side for that pin to slide out of. So I'm going to have to take the brake pedal off, which will involve removing this clip right here. There should be a clip here on a pin, and that pin should slide out, and then the whole brake pedal assembly should come down out of there. We'll see what happens. Don't forget to remove the spring that returns the brake to its former position. It comes out this hole right here. And if you get the pliers on it, you should be able to just poke that down, and then that'll release the brake. Okay, apparently I didn't have to remove the connecting rod to get the master cylinder out of there, because apparently it just falls out. But that's okay, because I needed to take it out anyway. I guess if you just unbolt the master cylinder, you can just pull it right off. So that's something to learn. Now I'm going to remove the rag joint there for the steering and pull the column out. And that'll be awesome. I got the master cylinder sitting over here on the bench along with the brake pedal, which here's the brake pedal assembly. I put the pin back in it here and the clip back on that, and then I put this pin in here as well with the clip, and then there's the spring that holds the brake pedal. There's also a switch that connects to the brake pedal, which is right here, and that basically lets you know when the brake pedal's been pressed. That probably activates the brake lights and probably the transmission interlock. Anyway, that's what I've got there. Continue on. There's the master cylinder. It's a little bit rough. Try and look down in there and see if it's out or whatever, but it leaked. I don't know where it had a leak at, but it was pretty grody to begin with, so I'll probably be replacing that guy. Something new. Anyway, pile of parts is growing. Okay, we got the steering column out and the brake pedal and the brake master cylinder, and again the steering column with the rag joint. Now we're going to move up here, start taking apart the front end.